Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh no, guys, Kamala Harris is taking the lead in Nate Silver's forecast. What are we gonna do?
Oh, scary! Oh, shiver my timbers!
Oh, it's absolutely devastating stuff. Yeah, you can sense the sarcasm in my voice. I'm having a little bit of fun with this one, because the left is all over X, celebrating the reverse shift. Kamala Harris once again takes a commanding lead. Blah, blah, frickin' blah. I don't know about you guys, but I don't get my polling results and election forecasts from Nate Plastic. I'm gonna stick with the pollsters who have a good track record. And yep, over the last little more than 2 months, it's been real noisy, a whole lot of noise, a whole lot of polls dropping showing Kamala Harris with a commanding lead. I mean, some leftoids literally believe that Kamala Harris is going to win North Carolina. But I don't know about you guys, I'm not listening to the noise. I am blocking out the noise, and I'm focused in on the pollsters that I trust. And the number one pollster that I trust is remaining steadfast in their presentation, in their belief that Donald Trump is in fact in the driver's seat. So I guess the question is, who do you believe? Morning Consult, Bloomberg, NBC News, or Rasmussen Reports, Trafalgar, and the rest of them? Let me show you guys what the media is purposely ignoring. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, I got another clip here from Mark Mitchell at Rasmussen Reports. I want you to listen to this. Just take a look how different this story is compared to what the media is telling us.
Tonight, you've still got Trump in the lead. You just saw the Hispanic poll that came out by NBC, kind of shocking of what they've done there. Give us the breakdown, Mark. Where is this race now?
To be honest with you, it hasn't changed at all. And that's horrible news for Kamala Harris because, like we said a week or two ago, she needs an act of God, I think, to win this. Trump is still up plus 2 points in the national numbers. That's been 3 weeks in a row now. So I really don't see that trend changing. And all the demographics you're talking about have kind of like lasered right on into, roughly tied with Hispanic voters. Trump getting a really big portion of the black vote, about 29% and our most 28% our most recent poll, and doing extremely well with 18 to 39-year-olds too. So time and time again, we keep seeing that pattern. Now, anybody looking at our overnight numbers might say, well, hey, it looks like, things are tightening up and maybe it's more like a 1-point race. And yeah, maybe on Thursday it will, maybe it won't. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't think at this point it matters. I think it comes down to the states, to be honest, because the national polling, it looks like it's locked in. It's going to say Trump roughly tied to plus 2, depending on who you look at, as long as you're not looking at ABC, NBC, Washington Post, Bloomberg Morning Consult, and their ilk. And so now I think everybody's looking at the states. And as we talked about last week, we had Pennsylvania out. All the swing states that we have, all 10 of them are out, and they were all like really tight, but not exactly as tight as Emerson shows them with everything in an exact tie. We had Virginia going to Harris by 3 points and North Carolina going by Trump 3 points, as it should, with Georgia also going to Trump by 3 points. And then also everybody's looking at this Atlas Intel set of swing state polls. And again, they were really accurate at a national level. I'm not sure how good their swing state polling was last cycle. And they showed kind of a little bit of an opposite signal than us. Their Rust Belt was better for Trump than ours was, but their Sun Belt was worse. The crazy thing is that every single one of those numbers that we put out and they put out, for instance, they showed North Carolina going 2 points to Harris. I don't believe it. But all of those are within the overlapping margin of error. So you're kind of like bumping into the limit of what polling can do, which is why I look for all these validation points. Like you said, one of them, that the polls really have shifted massively in Trump's favor. And you're going to love this. I did 2 YouTube videos. This is, my sign where my kids were over 100,000 subscribers now. I took our data, and this isn't a poll. We're not going to release it, but it's a really good analysis. I took our data from New York, New Jersey, and Florida and cut the numbers and, not with very controversial weightings, just using like 2020 exit polling numbers. And New Jersey went from Biden 16 down to Harris 8. New York went from Biden plus 23 down to Harris 11. I mean, these are incredible moves. And everybody's saying, well, Florida might be in play. There's no way Florida went to Trump by 3 points in 2020 and now the Democrats are going to win it. I'm sorry. And these numbers back it up. And I mean, it's a good size sample, 1,200 likely voters. Florida goes to Trump by 8 points.
Rasmussen Reports still believes that Donald Trump is on track to win the popular vote. And I have to say, the Rasmussen Reports angle seems to be based more in reality. You know, the media is telling us that Kamala Harris is making all these gains, but like I keep pointing out, if you look at the crosstabs, she's suffering everywhere with the most important voters. And Mark Mitchell mentioned that as well. Trump's doing great with black voters, Hispanic voters, young voters. There's a Pennsylvania poll that released today showing Donald Trump overperforming with elderly voters. You know, how is it that Kamala Harris keeps getting these big leads in the headline numbers presented, but she's shedding support in the most important voting demographics? You know, something doesn't make sense. They've got to be cooking the books, folks. They've got to be skewing the numbers. I don't believe for a second that Kamala Harris is in a commanding position. In fact, I think the election outlook continues to get darker for the Kamala campaign. We all know one thing. The path to victory lies straight through Pennsylvania. And well, according to Atlas Intel and Trafalgar Group, right now, based on their very recent surveys in late September, Trump supposedly leads by 3 in both of those polls. And those two pollsters are the most accurate on the list. Atlas Intel with a margin of error of 2 and Trafalgar with a margin of error of 2.9. So you got the two most accurate pollsters saying that Trump is leading, but the headline that Democrats are running with is the Bloomberg poll showing Harris +5? Give me a freaking break. You know, for the longest time we were hearing that Kamala Harris is going to win Georgia. And for a while the data was suggesting that, especially in September and mid-September, where Kamala Harris actually overtook Trump in the RCP average. But now look at the results. Trump has a commanding theoretical lead. And probably most shocking is the latest Quinnipiac poll. Quinnipiac, a known left-wing pollster, although not a great state pollster. Well, really not a great pollster in general. Well, even they have Trump at +5. This is not a bullish outlook for the Kamala campaign. I mean, for Pete's sakes, you know what it kind of feels like? It feels like Kamala Harris has lost all of her momentum and she's headed right back to where Joe Biden was right before dropping out. And you know what really makes me say that? Mark Mitchell mentioned it. According to Rasmussen's latest poll in the state of Virginia, Kamala Harris only leads by a measly 3 points. I mean, that has to be the story. Joe Biden wins the state by 11, ahead in the polls by 15, 16 back in 2020 in the state, and now Kamala has a +3 lead. That is pathetic. And I think the most interesting point that was mentioned was Mark Mitchell's extrapolation of the data using the 2020 exit poll demographic breakdown. Essentially what he said, that once he used the 2020 exit poll logic, applying it to some of the numbers in the states that they're collecting, it shows Kamala Harris's leads getting slashed in half. Again, that's gotta be the story, right? Ooh, Nate Plastic has Kamala Harris at a 55% chance to win. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is within the margin of error in the state of Virginia, down 5 points in Georgia, down 3 in Pennsylvania. The list goes on, and Trump is poised to overperform most of these results, at least if history repeats itself. Again, the official narrative just seems unbelievable, literally unbelievable. How is Kamala Harris poised to win Pennsylvania when she's down in the polls, seriously down compared to her predecessor, and Scott Presler keeps reporting on these voter registration numbers that are totally devastating for the Democrat Party? He just released this news in Pennsylvania. A week ago, Democrats had an advantage of 338,000 registered voters. Today, that lead is narrowed down to 333, down 5,000. Democrats gained 7,600 voters, while Republicans gained a whopping almost 13,000 voters. Yes, our team is registering more voters than Taylor Swift. How do you win given the current circumstances as a Democrat? Understanding the recent historic trend, I just don't know how you make the argument. I'm not buying this Kamala hype cycle, not even a little bit. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.